Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhis Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhis Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhis Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi Pasca Sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi Strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat. Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhis Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhis Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhis Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi Pasca Sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi Strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu Strata 1 dan Strata 2 Pendidikan Keagamaan Buddha, Strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, Strata 1 Ilmu Komunikasi Buddha, Strata 1 Bisnis dan Manajemen Buddha, serta Strata 1 Pendidikan Buddha Anak Usia Dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.
Hi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Soti Hotu, Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
With profound respect and sincere gratitude, we pay homage to the Tiratana, the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, for blessing us today with good health and the opportunity to be present at this meaningful occasion. It is my warm honor to extend respectful welcome to all participants to the Nalanda International Buddhist Conference 2025. This conference, held under the theme Engage Buddhism, Addressing Global Challenges Through Compassion and Wisdom, is organized by the Nalanda World Association as the very first event and will be held twice a year. This conference marks an important step in our commitment to responding to today's challenges by using Buddhist perspective. We sincerely thank you for your presence, and we hope that this event will be beneficial for all of us and run smoothly until the end. Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wirawan, and I have the privilege to serving as your host and moderator for today's program. First and foremost, I would like to extend my warmest greeting to our four distinguished speakers. The Dean of the Faculty of Education and Dharma, Dr. Lauw Acep, S.Ag, M.Pd.B. Hi, Dr. Acep. And I'd like to,
Hi, are you?
I'm fine. Congratulations, Dr. Lauw Acep, for your
Thank
promotion
you.
to doctoral degree.
Thank you very much.
All right. And I would like to extend my greetings to the Director of Nalanda Center for Buddhist Studies, Brazil, Mr. Ricardo Sasaki. Hi, Mr. Ricardo. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Okay. All right. It's 3 a.m., right, in the Brazil?
It's just 3:43 now.
3:43. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo, for waking up early to attend and sharing us today in this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
All right. And I would like to extend my warmest greeting to the Vice Chancellor and founder of IBEC Buddhist University, Myanmar, Venerable Dr. Sobhita. Namo Buddhaya, Dr. Sobhita, Bante. And I would like to extend my warmest welcome to Principal of Acep Traditional Buddhist Art College, Kathmandu, Nepal, Dr. Naresh Shakya. Hi, Dr. Naresh. Hi, Dr. Naresh Shakya.
Namaste.
Okay.
Thank you.
Namaste. All right, and I would like to extend my warmest welcome to the Director of Nalanda Institute, Jakarta, Dr. Sutrisno, all the Venerable and Buddhist organizations leaders around the world, and all participants from various countries who have joined us virtually through Zoom or by watching the live stream on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request all participants joining via Zoom to use the official virtual background. And the background has been sent by the commenter on the chat box. We encourage all participants to use the same virtual background. And before we begin, let us recite the Parita Nama Karapata. The recitation will be led by Mr. Andika Febrianto, Master of Management. We kindly ask everyone to take the Anjali posture and join us in the recitation with mindfulness. Mr. Andika, the time is yours.
Okay, Wandami Bante, ladies and gentlemen, let us open this event with Namakarapata as an expression of devotion to Tiratana. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supartipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. After saying Namakarapata, may this event bring benefit to all beings. Sabbe Sata Bhavantu Sukhitata, may all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Andika, for leading the recitation of Parita Nama Karapata. Next, we are honored to hear the keynote address from the Rector of the Nalanda Institute, Dr. Sutrisno. He will deliver a few remarks to lead us into the main theme of today's conference. Dr. Sutrisno, the screen is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Sakyatu, Namo Buddhaya. Distinguished guests, esteemed participants, and honor speakers, I would like to extend my warmth gratitude to our esteemed speakers who have graciously shared their expertise and insight with us today. Our panels include Venerable Dr. Sobhita, Vice Chancellor of Founder of IBEC, Buddhist University, Myanmar. Mr. Ricardo Sasaki, Director of the Nalanda Center for Buddhist Studies, Brazil. Mr. Naresh Shakya, Ph.D., Principal of Acep Traditional Buddhist Art College, Kathmandu, Nepal. And Dr. Lauw Acep, Dean of the Faculty of Education and Dharma, Institute Nalanda, Indonesia. We are delighted to have you join us for today in this Buddhism seminar and appreciate your willingness to share your insight and expertise with us. As the member of the Nalanda academic community and distinguished guests, this international seminar feels particularly significant and highly relevant to contemporary phenomena. In recent weeks, we have witnessed and perhaps even felt the phenomenon of VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, characterized by rapid changes, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity resulting from the intense trade war between China and United States, America. In short, the world is not in a good state, or Buddha Gautama put it, it is experiencing dukkha. We are living in an era of disruption marked by the rapid development of digital technology, particularly the emergence of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, characterized by artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and big data. This fundamental shift is transforming various aspects of life, business, and industry, driving innovation and rapid adaptation. However, this condition doesn't automatically bring humanity to a state of peace and prosperity. According to the World Poverty Statistic 2024, 9.2% of the global population live in extreme poverty, defined as living less than $2.15 per day, which translates to roughly 700 million people. Similarly, in terms of human rights, 2024 report from the University of Rhode Island found that 62% of countries receive an F for their human rights practices, while only 18% on A or B. The world is still plagued by conflicts, with the ICRC reporting over 120 ongoing armed conflicts worldwide in 2024. The WHO also notes that between 2030 and 2050, climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year due to malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress. Given this dukkha phenomenon, as Buddhist, the question is, what can we do? The answer, of course, is inspired by the principle of Buddha teachings. This is the initial idea behind in this Buddhism. Thich Nhat Hanh said, Buddhism is already engaged. If it is not Buddhism. Or as Sulak Siawaraksa put it, religion means deep commitment and personal transformation. To be of help, we must become more selfless and less selfish. To do this, we have to take more and more moral responsibility in society. This is the essence of religions from ancient time right up to depression. Today, we'll hear more from our speakers about the variation and strategies of ancient Buddhism in addressing social, political, and environmental issues to create positive change through the application of Buddhist teaching, such as compassion and wisdom. As Buddhists, we can play roles such as educators, warriors, healers, creators, and more. As a brief introduction, Institution Nalanda, as the oldest Buddhist university in Indonesia, actively engages in community service in various fields, including traditional Eastern medicine, spiritual enlightenment, early childhood education, communication skills, management and business, serving community in urban and rural areas. In the new style of Buddhism, the society section can play a role with more engagement and critique, while monasteries can morph from inner cultivation to outer transformation. Now let's walk together as the Buddha message goes. Everything is subject to change. Remember to practice the teaching earnestly. Waya Dhamma Sankara, Apamadena Sampadita. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sutrisno, for giving us a brief remarks to open this conference today. Dr. Sutrisno highlighting that several global issues and challenges can be solved by developing more morality in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, before introducing our speaker today, I would like to take a moment to inform you that on 26th of April, we will officially launch the Nalanda World Association. This event will be broadcast live on our official YouTube channel, and we warmly invite you all to join and take part in this meaningful occasion. Now, allow me to introduce our four distinguished speakers who will be presenting their topics in this afternoon. The first speaker, Dr. Lauw Acep, as the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Dharma in Nalanda Institute, Jakarta. He has an educational background in religious studies, culture, and education that also reflects a combination of expertise in both religious studies and education. As an academic and leader in Nalanda Institute, Dr. Lauw Acep focuses on the development of education quality and the applications of Dharma values in teaching and learning processes in the Faculty of Education and Dharma in Nalanda Institute. Hi, Dr. Acep.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine here. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Acep,
you.
for coming here and attending this conference. And the second speaker, Mr. Ricardo Sasaki, the director of Nalanda Center for Buddhist Brazil. He is an expert in Buddhist studies and has dedicated his career to promoting of Buddhist teachings and practices in Brazil. Through his leadership at the Nalanda Center, he has played a key role in fostering academic research, dialogue, and dissemination of Buddhist knowledge in the region. His work bridges cultural and spiritual aspects, contributing to the growth of Buddhist education in Brazil. Let's say hi to Mr. Ricardo. Hi, Mr. Ricardo. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much.
All right. And the third speaker, Venerable Dr. Sobhita, Vice Chancellor and founder of IBEC Buddhist University, Myanmar. He is a respected scholar and spiritual leader in the Buddhist community, known for his significant contribution to Buddhist education and scholarship. As the founder of IBEC BEC Buddhist University in Myanmar. He has played a pivotal role in establishing a center of learning that promotes the study of Buddhist philosophy, meditation, and practice. His work emphasizes the integrations of traditional Buddhist teachings with modern educational methods, aiming to cultivate both spiritual and intellectual development in his students. Let's say hi and Wandami to Bante. Wandami, Bante.
Everybody, where to Sabha Megalang.
Thank you, Bante. And the last speaker, last but not least, the principal of Acep Traditional Buddhist Art College, Kathmandu, Nepal, Naresh Shakya, Ph.D. Dr. Shakya is an expert in traditional Buddhist art and has dedicated in his career to preserving and promoting the rich cultural heritage of Buddhist art forms. With a PhD title in the field, Dr. Shakya has contributed significantly to the study and teaching of Buddhist art, particularly through his leadership at the Acep College. His work emphasizes the importance of traditional craftsmanship and the spiritual significance of Buddhist art in Nepal and beyond. Let's say hi and hello to Dr. Shakya. Hi, Dr. Shakya. Namaste. All right, without further ado, let's warmly welcome our first speaker, Dr. Lauw Acep. Dr. Lauw Acep, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me share my PPT. Yeah. Wait just a minute. Can be seen, Mr. Rawan?
It is seen clearly, Dr. Acep.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. The respect one, Rector of the Institute Nalanda, Mr. Sutrisno, Venerable Sobhita from Nepal, my brother Ricardo Sasaki from Brazil, and my brother Shakya from Nepal. Yeah, Nepal.
Yes.
Venerable Sobhita from Myanmar. I forgot it. Change. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Namo Buddhaya. In the world, it's uncertainty, suffering, and rapid change, many of wonder. How can ancient spiritual wisdom help solve modern problem? Today, I invite you to explore how the living teaching of the Buddha, when applied with compassion and charity, can become powerful tools for healing not only individual but entire communities. This is the heart of engaged Buddhism, the path where mindful meets action, and wisdom walks hand in hand with love to the global challenge of our time. Yeah, engaged Buddhism. This is the first occasion for the Nalanda Wood Association. For the first, maybe Nalanda Institute, Nalanda from Indonesia. The second one from the Brazil, same name, Nalanda, maybe more in India or another word. Yeah, if we talk about engaged Buddhism, which is related with the social action, yeah, practitioner engage humanity, yeah, how to solve the problem to help from suffering, yeah. Yeah, this promote for social justice. If we discuss about engaged Buddhism, also about the mindful in action. Yeah, mindful in action, everything we done with the mindful. interconnectedness, recognition of interconnected nature of all beings. Also, non-violence. We say in India also say ahimsa, yeah, ahimsa. In Buddhism also non-violence, yeah. We have the attention if some beings have suffering, we want to solve the problem, how to manage the suffering. Education and awareness, yeah. That is engaged Buddhism. I have found some people in the world who practice engaged Buddhism. The first, I remember about Thich Nhat Hanh from the Vietnam, yeah. He very famous with the Plum Village, Surak Siwaraksa, Dalai Lama, Kenshin Gyatso from the Tibetan, Arya Ratne, Venerable Bodhi, Buddhadharma Bhikkhu, Bhikkhu Buddhadharma, His Holiness Karmapa, Master Xinyin. Master Xinyin is our master, my master when I study in Taiwan for Guangshan. Master Cheng Yen, yeah, from the Taiwan also. Yeah, this is maybe you can remember about this person. Yeah, this is very famous about the engaged Buddhism. This is my master from the Taiwan, Master Xinyin, have passed away. He gave me a name also from the master. Yeah, this is Venerable Cheng Yen from Taiwan also. If we discuss about the engaged Buddhism, this is related with the compassion, karuna, and loving kindness. Loving kindness is not differentiation. When we want to help someone or some beings, yeah, we do without differentiation. Once you see suffering, how can you not act? If you not act, that is not karuna and metta. The path to awakening includes ethical action, not harm, and making choice that support justice and peace. Mindful sati as awareness of the world. Yeah, this is a philosophical of the engaged Buddhism. What action looks like in a Buddhist context? Yeah. We can see the feeding the hungry. Yeah. Feeding the hungry. When you see someone need food, you can give the food. If someone need water, you give the water. This is like the Chichi. Yeah, Master Cheng Yen say about how about the social action. Yeah, feeding the hungry, carrying the sick. Another one is the karmapa, journey mercy, protecting the environment. Yeah, we must make a suitable one for the environment. And Thich Nhat Hanh say standing against the war, racism and justice. Yeah, that is Thich Nhat Hanh say. Another one is educating and empowering other, rooted in influence and compassion. Living simply and ethical, refusing to participate in system of harm. This is social action, yeah, we can do in the world. Compassion and wisdom, two wings of social engagement. In Buddhism, compassion without wisdom, yeah, can become burnout. And wisdom without compassion and can become caught or detached. But together, they form up the heart of enlightened action, especially the face of injustice, inequality, and suffering in the world. Compassion, the heart that feels. Compassion karena is the first response to suffering. If you see the suffering and you feel it touch in your heart, that is compassion. When your heart is open to the suffering, your hand naturally move to help. This is Thich Nhat Hanh said about the compassion. Key quality of Buddhist compassion. That is empathic awareness, seeing and feeling another pain without turning away. It's not about rescuing or controlling, but about being fully present. Selflessness, compassion. In Buddhism, is not sentimental or ego-driven. It's more motivated by not attachment and loving concern without expecting anything in return. Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Not want something from when you give help for someone. Wisdom, compassion, unity. Real compassion is always paired with the wisdom. Knowing how to help skillfully, otherwise it can become enabling, exhausting, and misguided. Universal is not limited trans or human. True compassion extends to all sentient beings, including enemies and animals. We will not differentiate enemies, animal, man, human, or any beings. Active but calm. It may involve action, helping, serving, speaking up, but it's root inner peace, not activity or anger. Wisdom, the mind that sees clearly. Wisdom, prajna, is the clear, deep understanding of how things really are, including the causes of suffering. The Buddha said in Four Noble Truths, there is suffering, there is cause of suffering, this is the spirit of suffering, and also the path of the way to suffering. If we know clearly about the Four Noble Truths, that is wisdom. True compassion is not just the desire. Sorry. True compassion is not just the desire to relieve suffering, but the understanding of how suffering arises. That is said by Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso. Real-world example. Tzu-chi volunteers inspired by the Master Cheng Yen provide disaster relief not just with food and medicine, but with presence, reasoning, and respect. Their compassion is felt, and their system are smart. There is compassion plus wisdom. We can see the volunteer of the Tzu-chi when they help some people from disaster, not only give the food or medicine, but also give with respect. That is a good example for us. Compassion and wisdom. Wisdom tells us about the I'm nothing, selflessness. Compassion is tell me I am everything. I can do everything for everyone. If need me, I can do. But wisdom tell me I am nothing. Doing and forget it. Between the two, my life flows. This is Nisargadatta Maharaj said about that, about the compassion and wisdom. Key aspect of Buddhist wisdom. Insight into the three marks of existence, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Everything is impermanent. Everything is dukkha, suffering, and all the things is anatta. Wisdom also about the understanding of the dependent origination, paticca samuppada, seeing those delusion, balance with compassion, number 8 fourth path, right view, samadhi, and right attention, samasankappa. So wisdom, the final of the wisdom is know everything as they are. Yatta bhuta nyana dasana. to see anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Yeah. Wisdom cultivates through mindfulness and meditation vipassana. If you only study on Dharma, that is wisdom, but in theory and understanding. But when you practice meditation, you can do mindfulness in meditation. You can touch with the full attention, do and full attention can become pure in your mind. Contemplation on impermanent and not self. We do meditation or give attention for everything as they are, as impermanence, suffering, and anatta. Observing cause and effect in our own experience. So if we understand about this is wisdom, yeah, and we can see the truth when we do meditation. May all beings be happy and be joined with the causes of happiness. May all beings to be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all beings experience the great joy, free of sorrow, and be joined with the causes of joy. May I find equanimity with my heart, so that I can meet both joy and pain alike, with insight into the nature of existence. That is my presentation about the compassion and wisdom. May all of you always be happy. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Lauw Acep, for sharing this material in this afternoon. I highlighting several things from Dr. Lauw Acep's presentations. He said that compassion and wisdom are the two wings of social engagement, and this can be done to the real action to society. And later, Dr. Acep gave us several examples, for instance, by feeding the hungry and caring the sick, and also protecting the environment, as well as standing against harm. Those are several highlights from Dr. Acep's presentations. Thank you very much. And we're going to move further to the second speaker. Let's us listen to the presentation from Mr. Ricardo Sasaki. Mr. Ricardo, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate for the beginning of this conference, this Nalanda International Buddhist Association that is going to be formed. And thank you for the invitation for speaking today. Since we are talking about compassion, I thought that would be interesting to talk a bit about how Buddhism is being or was being introduced here in Brazil. We don't know, most of you probably never heard about Buddhism in Brazil, so maybe it will be an interesting presentation. I think I will share from now on. Okay, so okay, perfect. So this is part of a larger or longer presentation. So I will just jump to some slides. But this is a presentation about the Nalanda Buddhist tradition, and okay, let's see. And this is just talk about the Nalanda impact on Buddhism and how it is significant. Okay, let me see. Oh. How it's significant not only for Tibetan Buddhism, as is usually associated today, but also for the Chinese tradition and the Theravada tradition. So here is what I'm going to talk today is about our experiences in sharing the Dhamma in Brazil. And here you can see some of our retreat here. And when we talk about compassion, an important aspect is generosity, no, and sharing and helping the people in need, the people that are suffering. The first aspect that we can think about is the material help, no, and this is very important. And the material help is covered by what the Buddha also thinks about the four prerequisites for the monk that we can extend for the whole population. So we need to provide food for those that are in need. We need to provide shelter. We need to give clothing, and we need to give medicine. So this is the material help, and this is the area that we can, be occupied when we want to practice generosity. And this material help that is covered by the four requisites is much associated with emotional help. Every time that we give food, shelter, clothing, and medicine, we also are sharing emotional help, supporting emotionally, psychologically, the people that are in need. So this is very important. I have the pleasure to study under Acem Buddhadasa. I was very happy to see my good friend Lauw Acep mentioning Buddhadasa Bhikkhu. And he had a very interesting take on the requisites. He said that, yes, Buddha spoke about the four requisites, but there would be a fifth, and this fifth would be the Dhamma. The Dhamma is us needed by the humanity, for the all beings, as the four requisites. And let me remind some phrase that is in the canon. Sabhadanam Dhammadanam Jinati. The gift of Dhamma surpasses all gifts. So this is the generosity in the highest. So I think that it fits in our conference when we are talking about compassion to talk about sharing of the Dhamma. And Brazil is majority is a Catholic or Christian culture, and so we had a series of challenges in spreading or in teaching Dhamma here in Brazil. Buddhism in a new land. Though Chinese are reported landing in Brazil as far as 1810, for temporary work. Buddhism in Brazil was largely started with Japanese immigration. This is the first Japanese ship, Kasatomaru, in 1908. Followed by Chinese and Korean immigrants in search of job opportunities. And my own father came in one of those first ships. And so Buddhism in Brazil, in the beginning, in the first decades, was majority, and still today is something of the Japanese, Chinese, and Korean community. The growth of Japanese Buddhists in Brazil was informal until 1952, when the Hompa Honganji, Pure Land Japanese school, was established officially in Brazil. And this was followed by the Higashi Honganji. Now, both of those schools are Pure Land schools, Zen, Nichiren, and Shingon. Also, the Chinese Moti Temple was founded in 1962, mainly to assist the Chinese community, and the Theravada Buddhists came to Brazil in 1967 with the establishment of Sri Lankan Theravada Temple. So these are the beginning of Buddhism, and so we can see in Buddhism two very different here in Brazil two phases. One is what we call ethnic Buddhism. No, that was a Buddhism that was taught mainly to the Japanese, Chinese, and Korean communities. So they were spoken in their language, and so the Brazilians themselves were not reached. No? And because of the history, we didn't have any immigrants from countries like Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka. So Theravada Buddhism was always the very few, was the minority, because we didn't have those people from those countries now that cover the majority of Theravada Buddhism. So in 1989, I established the Nalanda Buddhist Center of Brazil, and the name was inspired by the meaning of Nalanda, of being a center that can gather many different influences that respect different schools and traditions and lineages. So Nalanda in Brazil strives to follow in the footsteps of the great and original Nalanda, promoting the teachings of the Buddha in the country. So here is a bit of what we do. So one of the main things that we do is retreats. We have regular courses on Buddhism and meditation, and Buddhism here, in the West in general, in Brazil in particular, is most valued by the practical means of mind cultivation. The people wanted to learn mainly meditation, and they are also interested in some of the aspects, the intellectual aspects that Buddhists can teach, and not so much by the ritualistic and devotion-oriented practice as Asian temples. We do courses, conferences, regular practice. You can see here, one of the photos here is during a conference in a university, about Buddhism and religion. So this is common here. One thing that we started doing that was quite pioneer is to bring international teachers. So here you can see one of my teachers, Venerable Watadama Sayadaw from Burma, also Venerable Renepolo Gunaratna, both came to Brazil at my invitation many times. And we have many other teachers from Asia, from United States, from Europe. So this is very important. We were the pioneers in Brazil to bring Vipassana retreats, longer retreats of 10 days or more. Santikaro, that was one of the main students of Buddhadharma Bhikkhu, is a very good friend of our community, and he came many times in Brazil. Here you can see our our Dhamma hall we have a piece of land where we have a Nalanda in the city and one Nalanda in the countryside where we hold the retreats. Here are some of the talks and gatherings that we have also in different cities of Brazil. We have some groups in many places during those years, and always spreading mainly the Theravada Dhamma, but also with much respect for other lineages. One of the things that we do is we have a very strong publishing arm. So since our foundation, we have written, translated, and published more than 30 books so far. So you can see here some of our books. We have more now. So this an old picture. So you can see we have a very strong publishing initiative. We hold also some, like here, we hold some conferences and online. And we were one of the pioneers in Buddhism in beginning the education at distance, distant education. So we have a large number of members in Brazil, also some in Portugal. Always teaching Buddhism online by the internet, by Zoom meetings. So this is one of the first, maybe the first Buddhist group in Brazil that start to do this. Very strong presence in the online space. Here's another take of our retreat place. We began this place is inside the forest, and we began in 1999 with the aim of following the forest tradition of Thailand, of Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. We call it Nalanda Rama. Is the name of our place. And we have hosted a number of retreats, small ones and longer ones, with local and international teachers, lay and monks. Here are some other photos. This is our forest here. Here another take. We have silent retreats, and we also have some blend of silence and study retreat. So including Abhidhamma retreats and some other canonical study. And this is a women retreat. All the teachers here are women. And so this mindfulness and compassion, dealing with emotions. So this is very interesting retreat. And this is it. So I hope that was interesting. That introduced you to some of the for what we've been doing. Of course, we are not the only Buddhist center. So from since a few years, also Tibetan Buddhists came, some Zen always here, and Pure Land also here. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, impresionante, Mr. Ricardo. Thank you very much for your presentations.
You have a very good Portuguese.
Okay. Well, I truly enjoyed listening to Mr. Ricardo Sasaki's presentations about Buddhism in Brazil, because until now, I had never really imagined how Buddhism was practiced there. And unlike countries like Australia or France, which we often hear about in this Buddhism in this context, but Brazil, on the other hand, has remained quite a mystery. That's why Mr. Ricardo's insights were so enlightening. He shared that there are two qualities most strongly associated with Buddhism in Brazil. First, generosity, and second, about meditation retreat practice. This perspective was both refreshing and inspiring, and it has certainly broadened up our understanding. Thank you very much, Mr. Ricardo. Well, now we are going to listen to the presentations from Venerable Dr. Sobhita. Bante Sobhita, the time is yours.
Thank you so much. What is it? Yeah. No. Set up. Eh? No. Please screen share.
We have not seen the presentation, Bante.
Yes, please share the screen. Your side not long. Please, your side please chat share document. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. You're the invitation to Nalanda, the International Buddhist Conference. Today's very meaningful because of you are the Nalanda Institute invited me in the engage Buddhism and addresses the global challenges through compassion and wisdom. Actually, it's a modern applications of the Buddhist teaching to the social, political, and environmental issue. Karuna and the Pinya is very important for the Buddha Sasana. The Karuna means elevated suffering through the kindness and the Pinya, the causes of the suffering and finding the solution. How can we such the solutions of the suffering, non-violent, ahimsa, and ethical living, and the mindfulness-based action? Engaged Buddhism is a moral applications of the Buddhist teachings to the social, political, and environmental issues. It integrates traditional Buddhist wisdom with active involvement and addresses the suffering and injustice in the world. Root is the compassion, karuna, and wisdom, pinya. Engaged Buddhism seeks to transform both individual mind and social structure through non-violent, ethical living, and mindfulness-based action. Engaged Buddhism is a advocate for the human rights, equality, and non-discrimination, non-violent, and peace-building. This is a very important point. The Lauw Buddha, the instructs to the bhikkhu, in the Bali, Saratha Bhikkhu Sarikam, Bahujana Hidaya, Bahugana Sukhaya, Lokanukambaya, Ataya Hidaya, Sukhaya Devamnutana in the Pali. Bhikkhu go forth on the journey, teach the Dhamma, teach the universal truth, for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of the compassion. This is the guidelines of the Lord Buddha. Since the lifetime, the lives of the hermit Sobhita, the Buddha has a rising compassion in his mind on being who has been the suffering in the samsara. With the compassion, the Buddha started to preach the Dharma to all beings, human beings, including the Deva and the Brahma. Countless followers of him benefit from his teaching and guiding. Not only the compassionate himself engaged in the affairs of the guiding people for their own good, he also encouraged his bhikkhu community to work for all without discrimination at all. And Buddha instruction to the bhikkhu is, Bhikkhu saratha bhikkhu sarika saramano bahujana hidaya bahujana sukhaya lokanukambaya ataya hitaya sukhaya devamanodana. That's why that we need to practice every the bhikkhu. And our the Buddhism, the noble person as the Arahantas of the Sangha community must be the appliance of compassion and wisdom. Karuna means the travelers of the heart upon the seeing the sufferings of the other. In the Balis, Paradokha, Dasanina, Kamapatanina, Karuna. Penya is the knowledge of how to help the affected other. Panya hoti yata katang, ubagarang katong jnana. This is in the Pali language. And everybody to become a noble person, one must possess both compassion and wisdom. Karuna, the travelers of the heart upon the seeing the sufferings of the other. Paradokha, dasanina, kama natina, karuna. It is a once of the full supplying the state, Brahma Vihara. It is a primary values of the Buddhism. It drives the Buddha to spread the Dhammas for the benefits of all people and beings. And the four sublime state, Brahma Vihara, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekha. This is the priority subjects of the Buddhism. And then, our the daily life, every day Buddhist follower must be the practice morality, thila, sila, concentration, samadhi, wisdom, and panya. Wisdom panya is more important than the other. Yeah. Knowledge based on the mental development, bhavana maya, panya. Knowledge based on the learning, sutta maya, panya. Knowledge based on the thinking, saita maya, panya. This is a main piece of the Buddhism. Panya, on the other hand, panya is the knowledge of how to help effectively the other. Panya hoti yatha katang upakaram katong jnana. There are three kinds of the panya: knowledge based on the thinking, sainamaya panya; knowledge based on the learning, suttamaya panya; and knowledge based on the mental development, bhavana maya panya. When the compassion reaches its higher level, one becomes the Maha Karuna, the greatest compassion one. Why, when wisdom reach its peak, they attain the Sabhinyuta Jnana, the supreme knowledge. And today, the global world faces global challenges. Every country, every place, every day, society. We need the social justice, the human right. We can go by the Metta Sutta and the Tripitaka. This is the foundations of the equality. We face the environmental crisis nowadays. Many of the country faces many the natural disaster. Currently, the country Myanmar faces the earthquakes beating. Many people that pass away. Many the Buddhist heritage sites that destroyed in the falling down, stupa, pagoda, monastery, and nunnery. Many temples are falling down by the earthquake beating. This is a natural disaster. We need to care the environment. Then, conflict resolution and peace building. And our Law Buddha, according to our Buddhism Tripitaka, Mahaparinibbana Sutra, the Buddha teaches on non-violent reconciliation. But nobody the attention this Mahaparinibbana Sutra. True wisdom arises from the inspirations of the compassion, as one contemplate how to help free others from suffering and make them truly happy and peaceful. Without compassion, wisdom alone does not easily become the parami perfection. Therefore, wherever there is a wisdom, there must also be the compassion. The Buddha was above Mahakaruna, great compassion one, and Sabinyuta Jnana, helping the being with a kindness and teaching the Dharma for their long-term liberation. In the Bali, Tripitaka in Sakawati Sutta, Radiyasaki Sakawati ruled with compassion and wisdom on the people and his country. Prosperity, peace, and justice were followed to the whole country. Sakawati, the royal king Sakawati, his rule leads to the social harmony in the prevents crime, poverty, and the suffering. When a ruler fails to the uphold the righteousness, correction, and moral, he kills the spirit. As a result, poverty increases, leading to the thief, violence, and the social disorder. Society declines. Further, with the gradual deterioration of the ethical values. As current the situation in Myanmar, our country, we are running the education programs and mass, monastery education, Pariyati education, and the Buddhist study education. We take care to the contribution of the education in the Myanmar. And Parisathamupara Sutta and Tripitaka, nature and humans' actions are interconnected. Everything happening because of the causes and the connection. This is called the Parisathamupara. This shows how everything is connected and depend on each other. This rule is a truth for the both people in the surrounded desa party. For example, people greed, love, over the consumption, destroying the forest, which causes a climate change. Climate change affects food supply, ways of the making living, and the securities of the whole world. This loop is like the chains of the dependent origination, where one step follows another without a break. By realizing that everything is linked, we can change our habits to be more environmental friendly, do less harm, act with compassion for both people and the enemy. In Myanmar country, with their compassion and wisdom, the Sangha are able to find way to help the struggling the country. As part of this purpose, some members of the Sangha open the school with they call monastery education in English. Burmese language, Pondoi, the Binyai, Pariyati school, and the Buddha like this. Different schools work as elementary or higher education program. What they teach in the same as what the government school teach. These schools do not change, do not charge for their lesson. So, kids from the Buddha family do not have to worry about going to the school. There are many monastery schools run by the Sangha all over the country in Myanmar. You can see that this picture, and current the situation, facing the upgrade between engaged Buddhism, we approach the community and the support. So many the food, water, and the need assessment, everything. We cooperate with the United Nations, another General Secretary, and ASEAN members of the state, and cooperate with to the contribute the public everything. Social work includes many different types of the service that are means to help us who are the elderly and the children, as well as to make the people life better, give the social service to the people who need them. Myanmar Sangha has done a lot for the social welfare. For example, they have built the hospital, opened the haircare center, started the funeral service group. During the natural disaster, the Sangha has stepped up to the help people in need without any base or limit. Myanmar Sangha has been kind and have worked hard all the time. There are not as many Sangha members in the countries as there are the social workers. But the worst they do is better than some other free service run by the people. Some are well known in the scale the Sangha members has done amazing things to the help people who has been affected by natural disaster in the Myanmar. You can see that this picture. The last years I met the United Nations Under General Secretary to this contribute humanitarian assistance in the conflict area, and then this is a UN General Under Secretary. He has a Pope Francis last November. I met in the discuss about peace and the reconciliation, not only for the Myanmar, but also the Israel and the Palestine. So our country urgently needs so many the humanitarian assistance. And then Damasaka Odana Soda, the dukkha is suffering, the middle way. We need to practice the middle way. Nowhere is forward. Providing the foundations for the peaceful society by avoiding extremism of the indulgence and the self-mortification. Individual cultivates the wisdom, etiquette conducted in the mental display, leading to the harmony and balance. Understanding the suffering, the dukkha, is a cessation, foster the compassion, patience, and the non-violence. Essentials for the conflict resolution. When the society embraces right view, right spirit, and the right action, this is the noble eightfold path. They create in the environment of mutual respect, justice, and cooperation, ensuring the long-term peace and the well-being in the world. In the Mahabharanipana Sutta in Tripitaka, the Buddha taught profound insights for the conflict resolution and peace building. The Buddha emphasized the importance of the Dharma and the guiding the principles for the leadership in the governance. Urges the rulers to the rule with the righteousness and the fairness. Buddha teaches this disputes arise from the craving and the attachment, lobha dosa, and the true peace is achieved through wisdom, ethical conduct, and the selfishness by encouraging dialogue, mutual respect, and adherence to the moral principle. This sutra provides a framework for the resolving the conflicts peacefully and fostering a society rooted in the compassion, justice, and harmony. You can see that this picture in the Myanmar, March 28, shaking the earthquakes quickly. In the Zagai regional area, this is an old bridge passing through the Iari River, now the breaking down. And just went there in the earthquakes area, as far as I'm trying to serve it as the possible. You can see that this picture, not only the Buddhist community, but also the other the interfaith session, I support and donate and release every society. Lastly, I would like to present the Vietnam scholar Ma, the Tenahan, who applies engage Buddhism, educates to the social, political, and environmental issue. He also emphasized mindfulness, compassion, and non-violence as tools for the transforming both the individual and society. He wrote the 14 guidelines for the engaged Buddhism. 1. Openness, be free from the dogmatic view, remain open to the lifelong learning. Non-attachment to the view, avoid regrets, take it and be willing to the involve. 3. Freedom of the thought, respect the different perspective without imposing the belief. Number 4, awareness of the sufferings, knowledge, acknowledge the sufferings as the first step towards a compassion action. Number 5, compassionate the living, avoid the harming, other the truth speech, action, and consumption. Taking care of the agers, Transform the egos through the mindfulness instead of the suppressive is. Dwelling in the presence, living in the presence and movement, rather than in regrets or the worry. Community in the communication, build the relationship based on the deep listening and understanding. Truthful and the loving speak with honesty, kindness, and awareness. Protect the life, respect of life and the oppose oppression and war. Right livelihood, choose work that benefits others in the avoid harm. Mindfulness consumption, be aware of the harm consumption affect the planet and society. Compassionate the action, engage in the edifice, service for the justice and the peace. Mindfulness the practice, regular meditation, strengthening wisdom in the social responsibility. This is a very systematic way. And then the Engage Buddhism is a very important for the compassion and the wisdom. Our community communicates each other by the compassion and the wisdom. And my presentation now, conclusion. Engage Buddhism is a provide a transformative approach to addresses the global challenges by integrating the compassion and wisdom into the social, political, and environmental action. Rooted in the teachings of the Buddha, it encourages ethical leadership, non-violence, and the collective well-being. Historical examples such as the righteous leadership in the Sakawati Sutta and the principles of interconnectedness in the Parisatsamupara Sutta demonstrate how Buddhist teaching can shape a more just and peaceful society. Moral obligation seen in the work of the scholar like Tenehang and the compassion efforts of the Sangha show that Buddhism remains relevant in tackling contemporary issues. There's an impressive these principles, individuals and communities can work toward the work all the guide by the mindfulness, justice, and harmony. Thank you so much, everybody. May you be happy, healthy, and peacefully in your life. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Sobhita. Thank you. We would like to express our concern regarding the recent earthquake in Myanmar. Our thoughts are with all affected, and we sincerely hope a swift recovery and restoration for everyone in Myanmar involved. Thank you, Dr. Sobhita.
It's my pleasure, your encouragement.
Well, Bante Sobhita earlier explained many things that Buddhism can be a solutions to global issues and global challenges. And surprisingly, Bante mentioned three main problems. First, social justice and human rights. And surprisingly, Buddha has explained the solutions in Metta Sutta. Metta Sutta highlights about how compassion can be the key to solve the problem of equity, inequality. And the second challenge is about environmental crisis. And surprisingly, Bante also mentioned that the answer can be found on the Paticca Samuppada, highlighting the interconnectedness of the nature and human. And the third problems or issues is about conflict resolution. And surprisingly, Buddha also explained about this on Mahaparinibbana Sutta, highlighting the importance of nonviolence and reconciliation. Well, thank you, Bante, for your presentations. Now, we would like to go further to the last but not least speaker. Let us hear from Dr. Naresh Shakya. Dr. Shakya, the time is yours.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. I hope you can see the slide.
The slide is on the screen clearly, Dr. Shakya.
Okay, thank you. It's so nice to hear Buddhist monk and different scholars on different topic. for now today, I'm talking on the Buddhist art, which is a little different from what the other presenter talked about. This is a very unique way in the medium of practicing Buddhist practice of wisdom and compassion. This is a very unique way. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how Buddhist art can be used for practice of wisdom and compassion, and how in Nepal we've been doing it for centuries. And the most important and interesting thing about art, when I visited Indonesia's Yogyakarta, and when I went to Borobudur, I was amazed to see one of the biggest Buddhist monument in the country with the highest Muslim population. And it's so interesting to see how people lived in great harmony, how Muslim make a Buddhist image and sell it to tourists. I was so amazed to explore the different villages, to see how local, they use the local material, like volcanic dust, to make a Buddha image and to sell it to the tourists. And in Bali, how Hindu people live in harmony with the Muslims, and how Indonesia, with all different community living in perfect harmony and achieving one of the highest economic growth in the modern time. So Indonesia is one of the examples of people living in harmony. So I would like to highlight some of the mediums that we used in Nepal, living in harmony with some Buddhist ideas and using some of the Buddhist art and concepts. So Buddha was born in Lumini, Nepal. So we are so proud to say that Buddha was born in Nepal. And I heard many of the speakers are coming to Kathmandu and Lumini for Buddhist conference connected by our university, Lumini Buddhist University. And it's so nice, and we feel proud that Kathmandu, Nepal, is one of the places where we've been practicing Buddhism since the time of Buddha. So this is the only place where Buddhism has been continuously practiced. So there are many sutras to verify that Ananda came to Nepal to teach Buddhist concept to the people of Kapilvastu, who fled Kapilvastu due to Birudatta's massacre. So we believe that Kathmandu Valley is one of the places where we've been practicing Buddhism since the time of Buddha. And we, especially Sakyas, we believe that we are progenes of Buddha. So we have many monasteries where we are initiated, become a household monk, and make Buddha images to sell it to Tibet and China for hundreds of years. So, and especially among the Buddhist practitioners and among the artists, we make one of the most numbers of Lokeswara images. Lokeswara virtually means bodhisattva. In Mahayana Buddhism, bodhisattvas are the people who are aspired to help sentient beings. So Lokeswara literally means a lord of people. So we have many different Lokeswaras. We make images and get the inspiration from their teachings of helping other people. So basically, one of the first Buddhist monastery that we believe was built around 4th century. This is one of the temple where we have Jatadhari Lokeswara. The story is very interesting. Excuse me. So one of the great Lichavi king died. It was actually a near-death state. And when he when he was taken to Yamaraja, the god of death, so he saw and said, his time hasn't come. So he said, now you can go back to earth, but before that you can visit heaven and hell. So the legend goes that when he was inspired to see the hell, and in the hell, he saw Jatadhari Lokeswar. Jata means the dreadlock. So this Lokeswar was bringing water on his long hair, squeezing it to the hell beings, to feed to the hell beings. Seeing this great compassion of Jatadhari Lokeswar, this king built a temple. It still stands in Kathmandu, Patan's core area. It's one of the oldest temple of Lokeswara in Kathmandu Valley. So this inspires local people to practice Mahayana, helping people, helping community, helping all the sentient beings. So Buddhism during this Lichavi period practiced Mahayana concept very much. And not just this, we have later on 7th century, the concept of great Karunamaya Lokeswara came. So this is a continuous festival since 7th century, we believe. And this period houses Karunamaya Avalokiteswara. It's a Padmapani Lokeswara. Karunamaya means a person with the great compassion. Avalokiteswara means a person who look upon the people. So this deity looks upon all the sentient beings. And because this idea of compassion is so important, so this deity is not housed in the temple. This deity is put in this chariot, which is 32 or 40 feet, and taken to the different localities of Patan. So people would just get to see the deity in their courtyards to inspire them to practice the compassion. So this has been going on for centuries, and we have this festival in this coming April. And I hope our professors and participants of Lumini conference would get to see this festival. And we have 108 Lokeswaras to inspire the practice of compassion. So these are the famous 4 Avalokiteswaras of Kathmandu Valley. And even when you enter our city, so you get to see this beautiful gateway, and on top you get to see a Padmapani Lokeswara. So the concept of compassion and the practice of compassion is there in every steps of people's life. We just install Avalokiteswara in the temples, in the main gates. The idea of helping is there in everyday lives. So one of the most important, I think, aspects of spreading the peace is generating the compassion within. So when every human being generate great compassion, there would be no wars. So it's a very difficult practice, of course. It looks very simple, but it's one of the most difficult part, because generating a compassion and practicing in everyday life is very difficult, but it's one of the most important. So through the art, through the deities, through different aspects showing the compassion deities to the general people, to inspire people to practice compassion, has been a motto of our society. That's why, being a majority Hindu state, Nepal lives in harmony with different community, and there has been not a single conflict between different community, because of this great compassion idea, which is followed not just by Buddhists, but also Hindus. I can show you some of the examples of how the stern Hindus also follow the compassion path generated by great Buddha and other bodhisattvas. So here, if you, many of the presenters are coming to Kathmandu, you will get to see this beautiful palace in the Kathmandu Valley, which was made at the spot of a great monastery. Actually, this spot was, this building was reconstructed on the spot of great monastery. But because Siddhi Narsingh Malla, one of the great Malla king, because he had a great compassion, so he also built a bodhisattva here. So the story goes, the great king was a very pious devotee of Narayana and Krishna. So he dreamed of Krishna playing his flute around this place. So he was so inspired, he built this palace, and on the opposite side of the palace, he built a great Krishna Mandir, the Hindu deity, a great Hindu monument. And this palace was built on the spot where there was a Ratnakar Mahabihar, a great monastery. And because the general population were more pious to Buddhist, so he also created a great art devoting the Sristikanta Lokeswar. And this Lokeswar is again a very, very unique way of bringing Buddhists and Hindus together. So you see, this is the main deity, Sristikanta Lokeswara. Sristi means evolving. So he, through his body, many Hindu deities are evolved. So this concept of Sristikanta Lokeswara is the main theme that connects Hindus and Buddhists in the great compassionate path. So we have Buddhists and Hindus living together for hundreds of years, no conflict, because they believe the Avalokitesaras are the creator of the great Hindu deities. So this is one of the themes that many Chinese travelers have coined in their travel journeys, like Wen San, Xuanzang, recorded Buddhist temple and Hindu temple being so together. That was in 7th century. And the most interesting part, this was my new finding that we just saw, this now palace is turned into a museum. And there in this museum, we have one of the very, very interesting narrative paintings created by this Siddhi Narsingh Malla. So he was a great Krishna devotee, and he has created this narrative where he expresses his devotion to Krishna. But interestingly, now we found that this deity, the main Krishna deity, is depicted in the form of Karunamaya. So this is the beauty of the artistic concept of great kings to bring Buddhists and Hindus together. So this image, you can see the anatomy, the Tribhanga Mudra, three breaking posture with the flute playing is the concept of Krishna. But the face and the jewelries, the 8 jewelries that most of the bodhisattva wear, signifies the 6 paramita practice. And the The crown with the 4 prongs represents 5 Buddhas. So this is how the art in Kathmandu Valley has been used to bring both Hindus and Buddhists together. So I'm just focusing on one aspect of the Buddhist art of compassion, bodhisattvas, to express how we use the Buddhist art to bring together the different community and to bring harmony in the society. So these ideas can be used in the modern concept. Like if you just go to Tibet, it's Bonpo is the old practice, and Buddhism is the new, later introduced. So they together became a one strong element to build a harmonious society. And same thing in Japan. They have Shinto religion, which is almost like animism, and mixed with Buddhist, and they created a new concept, harmony between two communities. And Japan is one of the most successful countries with the modern technology, but they still use this whole idea of bringing together the people of different community. And if you just look at the Mongolia is one of the vast country, and it's known for the great extension by Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan. They also use the ideas of Buddhism to mitigate, to bring peace in their society with the mix of their own animistic and shamanistic ideas. So we in Kathmandu Valley used the concept of Avalokitesvara, bring peace and harmony. So this image, I just, as in conclusion, showed you. So this is how the painting is made, and this painting is not for general decorative purpose. We use this image for meditation. So for instance, if you just follow the Mahayana concept of Utpatikram and Nispanakram of meditation, you visualize God of compassion above your head, and then you visualize the God, the compassionate Avalokitesvara entering your body, and then you become deity yourself, and then you practice a great compassion. And there are many great levels of compassion practice done by Buddha in his previous lives. Buddha even fed his flesh and blood to the tigress and their cubs to save this ferocious creature, even ferocious creature. And there are stories like that. So we are inspired by these stories with the image of Avalokitesvara, and use our imagination and apply the concept of compassion to bring harmony in the society. I think these methods should be used in general practice among different societies. And then when you generate compassion, when you just spread the peace and devotional compassionate practice among yourself, this will spread. And with the great wisdom, the great Bhante talked about in detail about the compassion and wisdom. With the great wisdom, we create a better future for our next generation, and create less wars. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Shakya, for presenting that insightful presentations. That was truly fascinating. It turns out that art can be a powerful medium to promote compassion and wisdom. Through sculptures, temples, traditions, and pictures, art can serve as bridge as Dr. Shakya say, as a bridge to unite diversity, especially in the context of Hindu and Buddhist community in Nepal. I really hope that one day I can visit Nepal and hopefully my dream will come true.
Yes, you have my contacts. Please contact when you come. I'll be very happy to show you around.
Thank you, Dr. Shakya.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the four speakers have already presented their material, have given us a lot of insightful knowledge about Buddhism in the context of four major countries from Indonesia and then Brazil, Myanmar, and last but not least, in the context of the place where Buddha was born in Nepal. So we're going to open the question and answer sessions. So for audience, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask question, we really open for you all to ask question. You can raise your hand and feel free to turn on the camera and microphone. Is there any questions from the floors? Maybe to trigger a question, I will be asking one question to Mr. Ricardo. Maybe this question will trigger up more questions from the floor. Mr. Ricardo, as I said before that I have no imaginations about Buddhism in Brazil, and from your presentations, I got new insight, new knowledge about how Buddhism is practiced in Brazil. But one question is about, do they perceive Buddhism as a religion? It means that they convert or they move from the old religion and then officially convert to Buddhism, or they just perceive Buddhism as a lifestyle, as a retreat or philosophy. How the condition there, Mr. Ricardo?
Thank you for the question. I think that most of the people who listen about Buddhism here in Brazil, they are mostly interested in the development of mind, of techniques to deal with the stress. So it's a minority that come to Buddhism or come to the Buddhist centers to go deeper as a spiritual practice. So once they start meditating and studying Buddhism, then sometimes the spiritual facet they become more interested. But mainly is a kind of meditation technique. No? Of course, that the ethnic communities they may see more as a religion. No? So we have to balance how we expose, how we teach. So we have to be sensible of what they are looking for, and so little by little we start to show what Buddhism really is.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo, for your explanation. Now, I see on the floor that there are several people who are raising hands. First, I would like to invite Mr. Aming Suherman to deliver a question. Mr. Aming, please feel free.
Thank you for the time, and namaste to all the speakers. Allow me to ask the question to for a second. Ricardo Sasaki, if I spell it pronunciated correctly. Yep. I would like to ask, how has Buddhism been received in your country, considering that, to my knowledge, it is not a widely practiced religion in Brazil. Yeah. So, have there ever any tension between followers of other religion? Yeah, if it is, and how did you address or manage such of this issue? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for good question. Brazil is, I think we could say that Brazil is very open society in terms of religion. Though we have a majority of Christians, half of those Christians are Catholic, and the other half is more like evangelical. So the evangelicals, no, the Protestant people are a bit more resistance towards anything else besides the belief. But in terms of Catholics and the society in general, they are very open. Buddhism is not seen as a threat in any way. No, I think most see as a beneficial thing. No, because they cultivate. No, they teach to be calm, to be generous, to meditate. So it's no harm, no threat to the existence of other religion.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Mr. Aming, does it answer your question?
Yeah, it does answer the question. Thank you. Yeah,
right.
since all the speakers came from, most two of them is a Buddhism country, and we also in Indonesia. Yeah, Mr. Lauw Acep also teach Buddhism, and we know Indonesia how it's like. So in Brazil, this is quite amazing for me. First experience to know how Buddhism is now being taught and also being followed by Brazilian citizen. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Aming, for participating in this Q&A. So for the second participants, I would like to invite Miss Krishna to deliver a question. The time is yours, Miss Krishna.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, moderator. Can you hear my voice there?
It's crystal clear.
Okay, great. Namo Buddhaya, Namaste, all the speakers all around the world. I'm so happy to get this opportunity today. My name is Krishna Devi. I'm one of the students in Institute Nalanda Institute in Jakarta, Mr. Acep's student as well. So today I'm seeking for like suggestion maybe about this action of engaged Buddhism, especially for in Indonesia, for my country, because most of us, when we talk about engaged Buddhism, we tend to focus on community activities. In reality, the action can be collective or individual. My question is, when we put ourselves into one community, Buddhist community or Buddhist organization, there will be so many people with different interests, different motives, different characters, which is at one point we got this problem. We got also a conflict there inside the community, inside the organization. So it happened not only to me, maybe to many of us here. When we want to start our activity with the good intention in the beginning, it turns out to be a problem for us. Turns out to be a conflict amongst the members inside the organization itself. So I'd like to ask for suggestion from our speakers today, especially maybe from Bante. Maybe you can give us some enlightenment today. What is your best suggestion in this kind of situation? Should we continue in the same community that we chose? Because I believe the Buddhist community there, the starting point supposed to be great, good intention, but on the way somehow it turns out to be too many conflicts, too many problems that we cannot avoid. So should we stay there and try to adapt, try to make change, or we move to the other community or organization that we feel more comfortable, but no guarantee anyway what happened in the future, right? Or we just act individually.
Question and answer time. Yes, just a question and answer time. Yeah. You can take the photo here. Yeah, take it.
Pardon? Sorry, moderator. Do you get the whole question? Sorry.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's all my question. Asking for suggestions, actually. That's
Okay,
all.
thank you. Thank
Speakers.
you, Miss Krishna. Well,
Thank you. Namo Buddhaya.
all right, Namo Buddhaya. All right, I would like to invite Venerable Dr. Sobhita to first answer these questions. The question is about the involvement in organizations. Sometimes when we involve ourselves in the organizations, we may face like a conflict with the members because of different interests, different motivations, different goals. And what is your solutions or recommendations to face these problems?
Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much. You had a question. The students of the Nalanda Institute. Your question is very admirable, because everybody, every day society, we face conflicts in the everyday. Not only the organization. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear your voice, Bante.
Okay. Everybody based on the Lobha, Dosa, Moha, greed, hatred, and the delusion, and the selfishness. So, every the society faces this conflict, whatever we do. Actually, our attention to the profits of the humanity. But everybody that control that everybody need to control that they are the selfishness and the egoism. That's why whatever we do in the everyday, everybody focus on the natures of the human being, human society. If you know about the natures of the organization, in person, whatever, no problem. We can understand we can understand this nature. We can cooperate with them very easy to the solution that this problem. Society, the icon is a very high dignity, but the cooperation time. At this time, somebody's their attention is right here. Sometimes this is my side is right. This is my side is right. Yeah, everybody they are the other like this. So conflict solution in the organization, we must be trying to the learning the natures of the habitual. If you know about the natures of the habitual, at this time, we can cooperate with easy in that we can solve this conflicts. For example, you and me cooperate with each other. I need to learn about your nature. You need to learn about me, my nature. At this time, we know it. Wisdom, Danya. We can cooperate with easy to the communicate, easy to the solve. We can solve this conflicts in every society, every community, every organization. But whoever want to do the social work and the society work, at this time we focus on the icon. Actually, we does not need to focus on the icon. We just a cooperation. We just the natures of the cooperation. We can understand. We can forget each other. This is the solutions of the conflicts.
I see. Thank you, Bante. How about Miss Krishna? Does Bante answer your question? Or do you want to elaborate
Can I
more?
ask, maybe if we still have the time, can we ask to another speaker?
All right. So another speaker's perspective. All right. Thank you, Bante, for answering Miss Krishna's questions. I would like to invite Miss Dr. Shakya. We would like to ask for your perspective about these issues.
As a human, I think this is the problem that we face everyday life, and with the community where there are different minds and with different ideas, there are always problems like that. And we have been facing the similar situation. And someone just wrote a question about the state of Buddhism. So it also relates. So with her question, I was just thinking, most of the time people have good intention, but to execute, there are problems. So the first, we just look at Buddha. Buddha also faced a different Mara. So there's a scene of Mara in the Buddha's life where he was meditating and there were conflicting ideas. So he used his great wisdom to overcome that Maras. So every human being has their own capacity. So her problem is very genuine. That's the problem that people face everyday life. But to find a solution, there is, the solution is there within. So I cannot say the solution as a certain thing, but I just ask her to look at inside herself to find the solution. It's very, very tricky problem that I'm not a philosopher and a spiritual teacher, but I see to find the solution, one really had to work hard from inside. So she has a good intention to execute that. She says, the community, they have different problems and things. So she has to find her own ways. And every human, Buddha says, there's not a miraculous solution. Every human being has to find their own path. And that's a challenge that we have to accept and face. And if you just accept it and try to find a solution for yourself, I think that would be the greatest achievement. And that's what I can say. Thank you so much.
Well noted, Dr. Shakya. Thank you. Now we would like to hear from Dr. Lauw Acep. Do you have any recommendations regarding this issue, Dr. Lauw Acep?
Yeah, that is the condition in the reality. Many places like that. Yeah, if you can change the word, change it. If you cannot, you can change yourself. to do something for useful thing for others. If you think it's difficult to change others, yeah, the first is change ourselves. Then, if you feel harmony and suitable with another places, you can stay there and do the goodness. Make the world knows what you have done. That is easy. It's very many conflict everywhere. So the first is not make conflict out in yours inside. I think that is the way to solve this problem. That is Miss Krishna.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Dr. Acep. Thank you, Dr. Acep. Dr. Acep highlighting that if you cannot change other, then change yourself. Well, now we're gonna hear from the other perspective from Mr. Ricardo Sasaki. Do you have any insight, Mr. Ricardo?
Well, I think that because we live in a very globalized and connected world, so we always hear and see problems in a large scale. So we think that the solutions have to be very high, very large. We need to have a big impact. And because of this, we look at ourselves and we see we are just an individual. We cannot help the world. But this, I think, is a problem of we are not seeing correctly. We don't need to make a big change because we are just an individual. So we have to change. We have to act. No, we have to do the kusala action. No, a good action, beneficial action. But it can be small. And so one suggestion that I would give is meet or get together with 5, 6, 10 other people. No, have it can be the group of your family or your roommates or your classmates, no, in the university, anywhere. But get 5 to 10 people, and then have a brainstorm. What can we help? No, what issue in our community, in our city, our village, or someplace that we see, and what can we help? Sometimes we can help a person that works in the same institution, no, and that they are in a difficult situation. So if we make if we have those small groups, but that do brainstorm, think together, what can we do? What can we do in this month to do some help, some act of generosity, of compassion? I think this is great. No, I think this would be great. And if you place together the other suggestions, keep looking at yourself, keep working to better yourself, then it's perfect, and it's enough. You don't need to change the whole world.
Right. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo. Well, hopefully those 4 perspectives may answer Mrs. Krishna questions. Well, no.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
for all the speakers. Thank you, Bante, Mr. Ricardo, Mr. Shakya, and Mr. Acep for the very good reminder for myself. Thank you, Pak Wirawan.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Krishna, for your participation. And now we're going to move further to another questions. I got many questions on the chat box. Now we're going to move to Mr. Rudy Wu's questions. Let me read it for you all. Namo Buddhaya, to my honorable speakers, allow me to get the questions, namely, how can we practice wisdom so that it goes hand in hand with metta or love? where wisdom tends more towards thinking, while love tends towards taste. In facing globalizations, which are very complex, where we are faced with very realistic challenges, with time constraints, tight competition, and cognitive distortions of today's human mentality. So to answer these questions, I would like to invite Bante Sobhita to answer this question. Bante, the time is yours. Or maybe Bante is having problem with connections. So let us move to another speaker then, before going back to Bante. I would like to invite then Dr. Lauw Acep to answer this question.
Okay, thank you for the question. This is about wisdom. Yeah. The first maybe we know how the develop wisdom with the study, the theory. That is only the understanding. But we practice more in action when we action with love, metta, not differentiation, to help everyone need something. So in practice, therefore become more and more for the wisdom. So wisdom is not only the theory, but in practice. If we can practice doing help for the others without differentiation, so wisdom become more and more. I think wisdom is not only theory or to talk about the truth, but in action, doing a good future, doing the good action, that is become more wisdom for us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lauw Acep, for answering Mr. Rudy Wu's questions. And now we're going to move to another questions from Miss Darvina. Buddhists in Indonesia are not many who are interested in studying and practicing meditation to achieve enlightenment. What about other countries in Myanmar, in India, and Brazil? Maybe she means Nepal, right? Do many Buddhists study and practice meditation to achieve enlightenment? Are there any tips to increase interest of Buddhists to study and practice meditation to achieve enlightenment? Maybe I would like to invite Dr. Shakya from Nepal's perspective. How about peoples in Nepal? Do they find meditation is something interesting?
Thank you. So meditation now is a global phenomenon. People just talk about mindfulness. So here in Nepal, the prospect is a little different. So there are different levels of practice. So it's sad to say that the general practice is in a diminishing form. So our Buddhism is Vajrayana Buddhism, which is very complex. So to reach that meditative level, you need to go from down, the Theravada ideas of discipline, and then Mahayana idea of opening yourself, and then the very complex Vajrayana meditation. So for hundreds of years, people have been practicing this Vajrayana system with the step-by-step process. And we, in the modern context, very sad to say that this is only in ritualistic form. So in general, but meditation has been one of the most important aspects of Buddhism. So there now young people are also involving in different kinds of meditation. So here I'm very happy to say that even in our institute, so where we teach basically the Buddhist art, Buddhist concepts, Buddhist art history, we also focus and also insist students to join the different meditation practices. So if you just look at Indian subcontinent, India, you know, after 1200 years, 12th century, Buddhism vanished. So I think now in India, they're coming up. But in Nepal, I told you, we've been practicing Buddhism since the time of Buddha, but there's ups and downs. So I would like to also address another question that was on the chat box that would just save time. So he was asking about the Buddhism practice in Nepal. So I tell you, we have been practicing Buddhism, but in different centuries, it has changed a little bit. So because we are mostly dominated by Hindu rulers, so Lichavi rulers were mostly, you know, up to 8th century, they were pious Buddhists, so there was no problem. The Buddhism and Hinduism flourished side by side, and Buddhism more than Hinduism. But after Malla period, it little diminished, but the general people were still practicing Buddhism. So our Buddhism changed a little bit. There was more ritualistic practice. You know, ritual practice is also important to purify your mind. But our idea now changed into a ritualistic Buddhism, which also include meditation, but in different form. I told you about the deity visualization, of a little complex process than the Theravada. So we use different deities to visualize. And later, in the modern time, you know, the conflict became a little bigger. So during Rana regime and Saha regime, Buddhism started to decline, and the Hindus, they were just dominating. But interestingly, Buddhists never fought back with violence. But in our context, we used Buddhist ideas to defend ourselves. So for instance, I give you one example. We created, popularized a different Lokeswara. Hari, 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 Hari Bahana Lokeswara. See, this is a very interesting concept. So Hari means Hari, Hari, Hari Bahana Lokeswara. So it means a Lokeswara riding on Narayan, who is riding on Garuda, who is riding on the lion, and who is riding on the snake. So all these aspects, lower aspects, are Hindus. So on the top is the Lokeswara. So we defended our Buddhist concept with not the forced retaliation, with the concept of retaliation. So Buddhism here survived because of the Buddhist practice. So it's not the Buddhist practice that focuses sitting meditation long time, but rather we use Buddhist practice of different kinds. Like for instance, we have mantra chanting method of meditation, and there are the ritualistic dance that focuses on one pointed mind, and there are also music. So with the change of time, with attracting different ideas, we change the practice of different Buddhist meditation with the different tools. So it's very complex for Theravada reasons. When they come to Kathmandu Valley, they see us more like Hindu practitioners, which is, of course, for outsiders, it's like that. But here, we used different aspects of Buddhist practice using different tools. So the meditation that mostly in Theravada system is not so similar here in Nepal. So people just get confused. So Buddhism in Nepal at the moment is stable, and we are in harmony with other communities. So, and also because Buddha was born in Nepal, this the sentiment is amongst also other communities like Hindu communities. So we are living in harmony, and I hope it will remain like this for coming generations. And Buddha bless all the sentient beings. Thank you so much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Dr. Shakya, for explaining these questions. Well, because of the time, we're gonna move further to the next questions. But I believe that meditation remain important aspects in other countries like Myanmar and Brazil, especially Brazil, because Mr. Ricardo has explained many things that Buddhism evolved and developed in Brazil because of retreat and meditation as the one important component. Next question is from Mr. Sujono. Thank you for the explanations from all the speakers who have gave quite interesting presentation today. The first question, well, I think he got 3 questions. Let us read it first. The first question is, what is the similarity of all Buddhist teachings related to all traditions in Buddhism? The second question is whether Buddhism believes in external power. And the third question is especially for Bante from Myanmar. To what extent is the impact of earthquake in Myanmar and on the beliefs of Buddhists there? I would like to invite Bante Sobhita. Bante, do you still there with us? Okay, maybe Bante got issues with the connections. So let's move to Brazil then. Mr. Ricardo, would you like to answer Mr. Sujono's questions? About question number 1, the similarity of all Buddhist teachings related to all traditions in Buddhism.
Yeah. Well, we could talk days about those questions, and yeah, the similarity. There are similarities in all Buddhist teachings in all traditions, and because of this, it's the reason we call Buddhism. But of course there are differences too. So one approach is to, I think one individual approach is to look for those similarities and practice what is the core of Buddhism. And another approach is to choose one tradition and just to follow that particular lineage. And both approaches are fine, But perhaps if the moderator allows me, I like very much the first and the second question. So I would like to have just a few minutes to make some comments. Could I? I think have something to do with this one too. Like in relation to if many people, for example, in Brazil, search for enlightenment. No, I would say no. Yeah, but I would say that perhaps this is not a good question to approach the problem. So this would be a similar to ask if all the Christians search to be a saint. No, the Christians are not interested in being a saint. No, and most of Buddhists, I don't think they are also really focus in reaching enlightenment. I think a better approach would be how how can I solve the suffering? How can I resolve my suffering and the immediate suffering that I see? So this is much more realistic than to have, I want to be enlightened, because you even don't know exactly what is to be enlightened. No, so have so many levels in this. And then if we change for something more realistic, how can I deal, and what kind of techniques and approach I can use to resolve my problems and the problems of the people around, then we come to this very interesting question of Mr. Rudy Wu, that he says, okay, we are surrounded by challenges, time constraints, tight competition, and cognitive distortion. And yes, no, but if you only see in this way, then the only answer, the only way that you think how to deal with this, let me become a monk, no, because this is what is a lay life. A lay life, we work, we have time constraints, we have challenges all the time, and we have competition, cognitive distortions. So, okay, this is the problem. I want to become a monk. And well, for those that know monks or have become a monk, know that they also have the same problems. No, they have time constraints, they have tight schedules, they have challenges in the monastery, in the organization. So I don't think the solution is this, but that you have to use this as your personal challenge. No, you have to make those difficulties your practice. This is the obstacle. No, so if you have time constraint, you have to analyze what you make your time. No, the Buddha and you have the same 24 hours. So how you choose to spend your time. So this is a very important question. If you are a lay person or if you are a monk. Competition, you really need to think your life, your professional life as a constant competition. So this is a question, a reflection that you have to make. No, and cognitive distortions we all have. So we have to work in discovering this and dealing with this. No, so we don't need to see the lay life or the monk life or our life as a series of obstacles that we have to run away. But we can see those obstacles that are part of the way. They are exactly the material that you have to deal with. So it's very good they are there, because they help us to reflect what are our difficulties. So and I think to come back to Mr. Sujono, no? This is what unify all the traditions. No, this is the core of Buddhism. Deal with your problems and the difficulties, and help others also. Don't run away.
All right. Deal with our own problems and help others. That's what Mr. Ricardo's opinion about the similarity of Buddhist teachings in all traditions. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo, for your insight. Because of limitation of time, you're gonna move forward to the last questions from Mr. Rahula. He is also a lecturer in Institute Nalanda. Would you like to ask the question directly, Mr. Rahula? We invite you to open your microphone and video to ask the questions directly. Mr. Rahula, would you like to ask the question directly? Okay. Okay, I just read the questions. How can Buddhist values like compassion and wisdom step up to the plate and help us face the music when it comes to big issues like climate chaos, poverty, and social unrest? I would like to invite Dr. Shakya to answer this question.
Thank you. It's a global problem. This is a very it looks very simple, but it's very complex. Like he has asked about the values, compassionate values and wisdom, how to use them to mitigate the climate chaos and poverty. So the first and foremost idea is because of globalization, we become there's a saying about consumerism. So we have to stop that. Because of the capital market, so there is a concept of consuming. So it's like we are consumed by consumerism. So the important point of Buddhism, like if you just look at Buddha, he never used formulas, already formed formulas, but he used the solution from the context of his time. So Buddha, in Buddhist context, they only eat one meal. And Buddha, because he practiced and ate one meal, he thought it was good for people to have this one meal method that would solve so many questions. So the globalization problem is because we are consuming. So the compassionate part you can use, and wisdom is how to choose your consumption items every day. So sometimes we have to be compassionate, be vegetarian. Becoming vegetarian, you just contribute less carbon emission, travel less, use less consuming material, be compassionate, wisdom. You just use your ideas to be climate friendly. Like for instance, Nepal, Bhutan is using less energy. So we are, like Bhutan is negative. We also are not using many energy. So regarding poverty, it's again very difficult question. If you just apply Buddhist ideas, you have to be compassionate and you use your wisdom to decrease poverty. Poverty comes from feudalistic ideas of consuming, it's just collecting, exploiting people. So you have to use your compassionate method of helping others out. That would just is not very suitable in the modern context. People are just want to have more and more. So in a Buddhist context, you have to be compassionate and use the method so that you help other people in the community to help eradicate poverty and social unrest. Again, in Buddhist teachings, if you just look at many Buddhist teachings, there are answers to the social unrest. So if you just take Buddha's life, he was one of the most revolutionary person in the Indian subcontinent. If you just look at the Vedic system, where animals are slaughtered by these priests to please the god, and also the higher Brahmin caste would exploit the lower caste people, creating unrest in the society. So he used the concept of equality. So if you just take the Buddha's life itself, there is many solutions for climate chaos. Consume less. That's what Buddha did. We cannot be Buddhist monk, but we can consume less. And for poverty, be generous. You just, for instance, if you take America, Elon Musk has so much of wealth, and he would just never be benevolent. He would just try to get more. So that also create poverty among the people. So you have to be generous, as Buddha was. And the last, social unrest, again, you have to be innovative. You just use the compassionate way of mitigating the unrest in the society. So it's a very complex question. It needs lots of time referring different Buddha sutra to apply to have the clearer picture. But I think I gave a brief, short answer to the question. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Shakya, for that insightful answers. Hope it can answer the questions from Mr. Rahula. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our today's event. Thank you very much for your responses and enthusiasm from all of you to learn more about this webinar. We have provided the link in the chat box. Please fill out the form of attendance to receive a certificate of today's event. And thank you very much to all of our speakers for taking time to share valuable insight and broaden up our perspective, especially on the practice of Buddhism in each of 4 respective countries. Our gratitude goes to Bante Sobhita, who is no longer with us today in the session, as he is currently attending to those affected by the recent earthquake. May his compassionate efforts bring relief to many. A thank you also to Dr. Lauw Acep, and congratulations, Dr. Lauw Acep, for receiving your doctoral degree today. What a meaningful day to celebrate both knowledge and contribution. To Dr. Shakya, thank you very much. I truly hope that one day I got the opportunity to visit Nepal.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Okay. Hopefully we can meet in person, Dr. Shakya.
Thank you. Yes, we will.
Okay. And I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Ricardo Sasaki, who has already woken up at 3 a.m. in the morning just to be with us today. Your dedication is deeply appreciated. Before we conclude, as a token of appreciations for the contributions of our 4 speakers today, we will be presenting the certificate to the speakers. The first certificate is presented to Dr. Lauw Acep. And the second certificate. Thank you, Dr. Lauw Acep. And the second certificate will be presented to Mr. Ricardo Sasaki. And the third certificate will be presented to Venerable Dr. Sobhita. And the last certificate will be presented to Dr. Naresh Shakya. All right. To all speakers, let us take a pictures. You may turn your camera on, and the commenter will screenshot our photos. All right. Please have a big smile on your face. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, thank you. And for a reminder, I would like to take a moment to inform you that on 26th of April, we will officially launch the Nalanda World Association. This event will be broadcasted live on our official YouTube channel. And we warmly invite you all to join and take part in this meaningful occasion. At the end of this event, we will have a group photo session. Oh, okay, sorry. And we have reached the end of our webinar. Thank you for your participations and support for this event to run smoothly. We hope this webinar has been beneficial and opens the way for further cooperations in the future. My name is Wirawan. As the host of today's event, would like to express my gratitude and see you on the next occasion. Sotihotu, Namo Buddhaya. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all. See you.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. See you.
See you.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For meeting, for leaving the group, ya.
Sure, Dr. Acep.
Yayasan Dana Pendidikan Buddhis Nalanda berdiri sejak tahun 1976 yang saat ini lebih dikenal dengan Nalanda Foundation. Pada tahun 1978, Yayasan Nalanda mendirikan Akademi Buddhis Nalanda yang berlokasi di kawasan Keramat Raya, Jakarta Pusat dengan program studi Dharma Acarya. Seiring dengan berjalannya waktu pada tahun 1987, Akademi Buddhis Nalanda berubah menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Agama Buddha. yang merupakan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha pertama di Indonesia. Tahun 2004, kegiatan perkuliahan dipindahkan ke kampus Nalanda yang beralamatkan di Jalan Pulau Gebang Permai nomor 107, Kecamatan Cakung, Jakarta Timur. Selang beberapa tahun, bertambah program studi pasca sarjana Dharma Acarya di tahun 2012 dan program studi strata 1 Dharma Usada di tahun 2013. Mulai dari tahun 2017, Yayasan Nalanda terus melakukan transformasi untuk menjadikan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha Nalanda lebih baik. Selain menambah program studi, penambahan serta perbaikan fasilitas dilakukan dengan mendirikan asrama untuk putra-putri. Selain itu, juga renovasi gedung perkuliahan, pembangunan taman agar menambah nilai keindahan kampus. Semakin berkembang dengan pesat Nalanda menghadirkan 3 program studi baru pada tahun 2022. Hal ini menjadikan sekolah tinggi agama Buddha Nalanda memiliki 6 program studi, yaitu strata 1 dan strata 2 pendidikan keagamaan Buddha, strata 1 Dharma Usada, dan 3 program studi baru, strata 1 ilmu komunikasi Buddha, strata 1 bisnis dan manajemen Buddha, serta strata 1 pendidikan Buddha anak usia dini. Nalanda juga aktif melakukan kegiatan-kegiatan yang menunjang kegiatan akademik dan membentuk mahasiswa berkarakter dan berbudi luhur, seperti kegiatan perkuliahan mahasiswa, puja bakti rutin oleh mahasiswa asrama, bakti sosial, seminar, wisudana sarjana, dan dis natalis. Hal yang menarik dalam kegiatan wisuda adalah tradisi membasuh kaki orang tua oleh wisudawan-wisudawati. Sejak awal didirikan hingga saat ini, Nalanda telah mencetak ratusan sarjana berkompeten dan berkarakter yang siap mengabdi dalam masyarakat.